Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues. Today we're taking a look at Green Arrow, Oliver Queen himself, for the DC chess collection by Eaglemoss. This is piece number 43. Funny little side story on this piece. This piece is technically a Christmas gift. What I mean by technically, my wife got me the chessboard that we've seen here towards the end of these last few pieces and in my Christmas haul video, and she wanted to get me a board and a piece. So she went through my YouTube channel and looked at all the chess pieces that I had. Well, I hadn't reviewed Stu Murray 47's Alfred that he sent me. He was sitting on my shelf in his box, and it was up on a filing cabinet, and she didn't see it or know to look for it there. So she thought, oh, Rob doesn't have an Alfred. I'm going to get him an Alfred. So Christmas morning, I opened him up, but backing up just a little bit, as she placed the order into Entertainment Earth, for some reason the order was taking a lot longer, and Christmas was approaching. So she called them and said, hey, the pieces aren't here. They were supposed to be here 2 days ago. So they resent her a second board and a second Alfred. So on Christmas morning, I opened up the chessboard and an Alfred piece, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I had an Alfred, you know, Stu sent it to me. And she got to laughing. She's like, well, now you have 2 chessboards and 3 Alfreds. So what we ended up doing, obviously, is sending back the 2 Alfreds that I had and one of the chessboards, and I contacted Entertainment Earth and said, in place of Alfred, since I had a duplicate of it, well, now triplicate of it actually, could they send me Green Arrow instead? And that's in fact what they did. But an even funnier side story to that, with them sending the second board and the second Alfred, they didn't charge my wife's credit card. But when we sent the pieces back, they recredited the board and the chess pieces, which meant the first board that my wife ordered was technically now $0. So being good, kind people, we said, hey, you guys made a mistake. You know, you credited us for a board that I sent back, but that was actually the second board. So we got all that squared around, and my wife and I are both big on, if we're going to complain at the cashier at Walmart for shortchanging us, you know, 6 cents, when we get 6 cents plus that we weren't supposed to get, we're very gracious to say, hey, you gave us too much money. So that long story to just see Green Arrow. Rob, let's get to it. Let's get Oliver Queen out of the package here so we can take a look at Green Arrow. All right, here's a look at Oliver Queen Green Arrow. I am a big Green Arrow fan, probably right under Shazam, and I have been a fan of Green Arrow before the Arrow TV series, and the Arrow TV series has even made me more of a Green Arrow fan, and the current run with Jeff Lemire on the Green Arrow title in the New 52 has been a great, great pickup, and I'll talk more about that once we get into the book. But let's get a close look at Oliver Queen's face here. His face really seems to be greened out, if that's the right word. Trying to zoom into the face. So they have it set up that he has light green lenses and a green mask. So his face does get kind of, looks like there's sunk in eyes a little bit, but that is supposed to represent the mask. It's painted well. I think the green in the eyes should have been a little bit brighter. The camera is kind of washing it out a little bit. In person, I can see the lighter green from, you know, far away as I am, which you can't tell that, but it's not as dark as it appears to be in the camera here. Trying the best to get the light. I think there you can kind of see the light green. But everything else seems to be painted very well. All of the these are really, really tiny lines of like gold trim that go in and around his costume, and they're painted very, very well. You know, kind of looking at some of these pieces, we can get sometimes overly, I wouldn't say overly critical. You want things to be painted exactly right and flawless. but you kind of see, where he's pieced together. It looks like to be, two separate pieces here where he's molded in. There are his arrows and his quiver. A square pouch on his back in the new 52 instead of being round, but that is what it is. But I like the Green Arrow's look in the new 52. There are his boots. Appear to have a little bit of cracking in the foot there. So I've seen some people talk about that they're have some broken pieces. I, so far, knock on the review table, I haven't had any yet. It appears, no, I guess not. I thought that was a hole that maybe I could put a little rubber band or something in there. Had they have done that, put something to represent a string on the bow, I guarantee as thin as that would have had to have been, it would have broke. And if it was as thick as this, it probably would have looked a little funny. It does kind of look funny without the string across it, but for the size of the figurine, I'm not going to get upset about it. But the look of detailing is very, very well. Granted, I'm up very, very close on the figure, so we're able to kind of pick out and nitpick some things. You can kind of see the overpaint on his shoulder, which isn't bad at all. Again, it's a chest piece. It's going to sit more for decoration, although my wife and I will probably end up playing with these some. They're just going to be very cool to look at. And I'm also very excited to get him on the chessboard. What we'll do real quick, we'll get the camera backed out. Let's actually slide him off, and we'll take a look like we always do at the book. This is from Green Arrow #1, and this was written by his first issue in the New 52, or series. I think I was on it up to issue 9. I just couldn't take it. As much as I loved Green Arrow, and Santi was writing Green Arrow, it was a real poor run. So much like Shazam, he's got a lot of New 52 stuff in here, and sadly, a lot of Anna Santi's run in the New 52 with Green Arrow. Somebody that I don't think should be writing. The stories are just really bland and boring, and some of them end up being kind of stupid. And like I said, I only lasted a few issues in. Here is Jeff Johns' run on Justice League America, which really didn't have very many stories for themselves, as it was more of a setup for Forever Evil and Trinity War and all that stuff. But Jeff Lemire's run that we can see here has been phenomenal in the New 52. This is where I think they should have had Jeff Lemire on issue 1 for this. He's done some really cool things. This is actually one of the panels from the book. This is actually how it is colored, so you would have a color scene like this, and the very next panel would look like that. It's kind of what Marvel's doing with Hawkeye's book, which two characters that are fairly similar, but we won't get into that discussion. And some of Diggle Jock's run on Green Arrow, introduction by Brian K. Vaughan. So we have some year 1 pre-New 52. I don't think they have anything from Kevin Smith's, which I think would have been kind of cool if they would have. And then there is the front of, I want to say it's issue 12, 13 maybe, of Jeff Lemire's run in the current run in the New 52, which has been very, very good. Here's the read-up for Oliver Queen Green Arrow. We will see if I can get this all in frame here. It says, Green Arrow is a white pawn in your Justice League chess set, a selfless hero in the fight to uphold the rights of the individual. While Green Arrow's powers may not be the same as Superman's, he can make a dangerous enemy and wreak havoc behind enemy lines. Like a pawn, he is often the first involved in a battle, no matter the risk. I think that's a good representation of Green Arrow. Not wanting to be even one of the big A-listers. He just wants to get the job done. Another one of the poor Anna Santi stories that we will not go into. Bizarro would be the next in line for this particular part of the chess collection. I don't think I'm going to get Bizarro for my chess collection. I'll probably end up picking somebody else from the villain side. So like we've done with the last few of these, let's get Green Arrow downstairs onto the chessboard, and we'll see him and Shazam both on the bat side of the chessboard. We'll be right back. Alright, again, we are back downstairs in my computer room, and computer room like I have my own little Robin cave here to the side. But next to my computer screen is my DC chessboard, which is now fully becoming a DC chessboard, as we are going to place Green Arrow in with the Bat family and Shazam over here. So to kind of even things out, I think we will slide Green Arrow off to the side of Batwing. Kind of put him in front of a Red Robin there. We're kind of getting in just a little bit tighter. So at the moment, I have more heroes than I do villains. Now my villains I've kind of spread out so we can kind of see. I've got the Penguin still here off to the side so we can kind of see the heroes here. And already this is adding some nice character and depth, just having Shazam and Green Arrow there. Probably the two figures that it's great to, again, I mentioned before, Stu sent this to me, it's great to have the figurine. And I bought Batwing just because he was so cheap. But these are probably two that I will eventually replace. I probably won't until I complete everything, and as I find a couple other ones, maybe I will slip them out in their place. So I've got two more spots for two more pawns on either side, and pawns that I have written down that I like to pick up are Hawkman, Zatanna, Black Canary, and Supergirl. So I only have two pawns available for spots, and again, if I slip those out, Zatanna is one of my wife's favorite DC characters, so I really want to get a Zatanna for this board, and Hawkman looks really cool, so I'll probably pick up Hawkman, and then eventually I'll probably replace Black Canary, or replace Renee Montoya, or The Question, with Black Canary, and maybe Supergirl for Batwing here. But this has been a look today at Green Arrow, joining my Bat Justice Eaglemoss chess collection. So, as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues, signing off saying we will see you guys next time.